Hey, I'm Nick McLaughlin. I have ADHD and I'm an ADHD coach. So you probably clicked on this video because you either think you have ADHD and you don't know where to go or what to do as your first steps, or you just have been struggling horribly with procrastination, time management, organization, emotional regulation, or distractions, just complete distractions. And I'm sure it's felt a lot like pushing a triangle peg through a square hole, and it's just been exhausting, and all of your friends and family and teachers and bosses have been telling you for so long, just try harder, you're being lazy, and it's just not helping at all. You're tired, I wanna help you. What I have found works the best is not trying to fix anything, but really getting clear on what you have and harnessing that and understanding how to use that to your advantage. I've seen people absolutely massively grow, just massively, when they learn to embrace their ADHD instead of trying to get rid of it. So you're probably thinking, do I go to get therapy? Do I do medication? Do I just read more on it? Do I watch Gary Vee videos? Can't go wrong with those Gary Vee videos, at least for the motivation aspect, but trying harder just won't work for people with ADHD brains. There's nothing wrong with you because your brain works differently. The best way I like to describe it is like saying, you're an introvert in an extroverted world, or you're a left-handed person in a right-handed world. So basically, you're not meant to be an extrovert. You're not meant to be a right-handed person. Your brain thinks differently. And in fact, a lot of people that are, in the sense of the example, right-handed or extroverted actually need you in the world. They try to be like you because you actually have a lot of super abilities that they don't have, that they strive to have. You can problem solve like a beast. You genuinely care about people. When you focus on something that you enjoy, no one's gonna beat you on it. You can actually be a master of many instead of just a master of none or master of one. You can accomplish pretty much darn well anything, and I've seen it in all of my clients, including my own life. I've surprised myself. When you learn to embrace these things, you have no idea what's capable. I'm telling you right now. And what's funny is so many neurotypical people have to take courses and trainings to be just like you when you are on your A game. So I just want you to know that you have a ton of potential, and I'm gonna help you get started to getting there. So with that said, I just have to say a quick disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I'm not about to give you advice to cure you or fix you. Nothing I'm about to tell you will replace, medication or therapy or anything like that. It's not the solution. It's just my opinion based off what I have seen in my own clients and my own life. So with that said, I'll just let you know who I am. So basically, I'm an ADHD coach. So I've coached over 1,000 people over 20 years. I've coached people like software engineers, lawyers, multi-million-dollar CEOs, college students, and even therapists. So I've been in this for a long time. I'm an advocate of it. I've been featured on platforms like these. And I have just had this ridiculously obsessive vision and mission to help as many people with ADHD as possible. So usually a lot of people will tell you that you are broken, that you need to be fixed, and that there's something wrong with you. So first off, I just want to help talk about the misconception here that you are actually not broken. So the first question, should you go to a therapist? I'm always going to say yes. Before going to a therapist, I would ask myself this question. What kind of issue am I struggling with? Is it a habitual issue? Or is it because I have a lot weighing on me and I feel exhausted all the time? I've got a lot of trauma. I think regardless, you should talk to a therapist or a counselor because you'll at least get answers and someone who can point you to other directions. But if it's just for the habitual issue, I've seen a lot of people come to me saying that therapy didn't work for them because they went to therapy or took medication to try and solve a habitual issue and they didn't even know it. So I will say go to a therapist regardless, talk to someone, but ask specifically for a therapist or counselor who actually has ADHD so that they can understand you and where you're coming from and what you want and what works best for you. And they'll understand you on a whole different level. Another great reason I would talk to a therapist is because they can get you on track to getting tested for ADHD, which can give you a lot of closure, and they can also get you medication if you feel like you really need it. And if you see a therapist, you can talk to a psychiatrist, and a psychiatrist is the one who can help get you the medication you need. Should you take medication? Like I said, not a doctor, I can only give my opinion, but I will say that I have tried many medications. Here, I'll say the positives and the negatives to medication. The positives are medication can totally help. They have great benefits for many people and they can help you focus in the moment. You are going to have to try and find what kind of dosage works best for you or what kind of medication works best for you because some may work for you and some may not. So it's a lot of experimentation and talking back and forth with your doctor. Now here's my opinion on the negatives from what I've seen in my clients and what I have seen in my own life. If medication worked well for you, at some point you may end up getting a coach regardless, or looking for extra help regardless, because a lot of my clients came to me having tried medication that worked well, but they just didn't want to lean on a crutch. And that was also my thing. I didn't like leaning on a crutch for medication because I just wanted to be in charge of my own life, knowing that I could do it on my own. But that's just a personal thing that has nothing to do with how everybody is. But the biggest negatives I would say I've seen in my own life, and that my clients have told me about their lives, is that usually medication can come with some side effects that are pretty gnarly. If you're struggling with anxiety right now, I don't know if I would suggest it from my own opinion, because a lot of medications can cause more anxiety. Some don't. So I would, like I said, I would talk to your therapist, talk to your psychiatrist. Like I said, the most important question before even going is asking yourself, do I just need to change my daily systems, my habits? It doesn't hurt to talk to someone and try anyway. But I will say that it can get very costly as well, because therapy and medication can go on. There is no really endpoint to it. It's not something that I have seen has just been like, I'm done. When I've had therapy, I was there for a while, and then I would stop, and then I would come back, and then I would stop, and then same with medication. And it just was kind of a hassle for me personally, which is why I always thought, if I can't solve this problem with strategy, then I will definitely go to someone else externally to help me. That's just my personal way of doing things. I have absolute massive respect for psychiatrists and therapists. They do so much, they commit so much time to helping people, but at the same time, you need to know what works best for you specifically, from my own opinion. So here's a really fun analogy that you can use to kind of visualize how medication therapy and ADHD coaching work. I like to say it's like the analogy of going to the dentist to get a cavity out. So medication is like numbing the tooth, where it helps you get by for a little while, but it's temporary. In my opinion, for myself, kind of keep saying that, for me, medication was a temporary fix. It would just keep adding support, but I would have to keep refilling the bottle and renumbing the tooth in that sense. Going to a therapist is great to get the gunk out and drill deep to get the gunk out of the tooth, or to, in the sense, drill deep into your trauma or your issues, your emotional struggles, and to help you get those out in a very healthy way. But at the same time, you can't go out in the world with a hole in your tooth. So basically, getting an ADHD coach is like getting your tooth filled. You know, I basically fill you with the information to support you so that you can go out and live your life. What I like about hiring coaches myself, I have plenty of mentors, is that I like that there is a deadline, that there is accountability to the maximum. They understand you. We give you strategies. We've been through it ourselves. Just make sure that they have ADHD and that they also aren't gonna just act as an accountability coach, because the goal that you want is, you want not just accountability to check in, you want strategies. I only talk to my clients really once a week, and that's enough to double, triple, quadruple the results in a matter of 3 to 8 sessions. If a coach says that they can get you from point A to point B faster, so you get less coaching, but they can get you there faster, they're worth the money. If they've proven it, you look at their testimonials and they genuinely seem like they care about you and not just like your money. And if you have the money to spend on it, I would just say that's a good investment. That's gonna end up saving you a lot more money in the long run. So go with someone who's very professional, who knows what they're doing very well, and really can't promise you that they will get you from point A to point B in that shorter amount of time. Because why would you spend even in the same amount of money on someone that's going to take 2 to 3 to 4 times as long to get you from point A to point B, when you can just get there, and they're gonna have a lot more experience. They're gonna have worked with more kinds of people. I know how difficult it can be. So I made you a bunch of free downloads. So this leads me to accountability coaches. So I would say accountability coaches are not who you want to go specifically for strategies. They're there for accountability, right? Just like in the name. You'd be surprised how many people hire accountability coaches praying that they will get a lot of strategies from them. And it's not saying that you won't get strategies. The main goal for them is they're going to be just checking in with you. I'll say that the majority of support you're going to get from them is just quick check-ins. But if you need strategies and custom support as much as possible at the very maximum, ADHD coaches are going to be your best bet. So this leads me to life coaches. Oh my goodness, life coaches. Just that name just is so broad, so general. I have a lot of friends who are absolutely incredible life coaches that they blow my mind. But then there are also life coaches that I feel bad for my clients. They come from life coaches where they didn't know anything about coaching. They just started, or maybe they've been doing it a long time, but they don't know anything about strategies or supporting the person the way that they need. But here's the big reason I would not personally suggest a life coach for ADHD support specifically, because they don't understand that you have to be educated, or at least have experience how to support the neurodiverse brain type. So it's going to require require different actions and different understandings. But a life coach can be incredible for helping you with your career goals, your financial goals, even relationship goals. Go to relationship coach for that. There's financial coaches. But a life coach can help you just overall with morale and supporting you and getting clear in your vision. But when it comes to ADHD support like executive functioning, I'm not quite sure if that'd be the best option. There are also high performance coaches. That's also technically what I am. I just happen to specialize in ADHD and neurodiversity, but they specifically help people with productivity. So I would just say that an ADHD coach is supposed to be a high performance coach that specializes in ADHD because they either have it or they've studied extra on it. We're really good with productivity. That's what we do. We're strategists and we love that. We love problem solve. This leads me to group ADHD coaching. That's really good if you feel like you need to be surrounded by other people just like you that struggle with the same things you struggle with. If you feel like that would lift you and help your performance. If you want to learn from a lot of different people, hear a lot of different takes. Good if you don't have a lot of money because group coaching is normally cheaper and it's a lot less commitment, a lot more freedom. And specifically for my group coaching, what I do is I give people a course that's gamified. It's a lot of fun. I make sure everyone's really interactive with each other, helping people out. I'm really picky about who I let in. The goal is to have a family and people just like you that understand you and can be there for you to support you and that you can do the same for. This leads to the question, should you get tested? I would say it doesn't hurt to get tested. It does cost a decent amount, but it does help you with clarity. However, the opinion I give my clients is that you don't necessarily even need to get tested to get ADHD coaching. So basically as an ADHD coach is I help you with executive functioning, like the issues I said in the beginning, like these right here. You don't need to have a test to tell you struggle with those things to get help with them, but those things do help you. And after you get tested, you can get prescribed medication if you feel like you need that, your doctor thinks you need that. So this is what I would tell my younger self if he was asking me right now, like what to do. I would say, go to a therapist, talk to them. The first thing I'd say is ask yourself that very important question. Am I struggling with a habitual issue, daily systems, habits, or is it trauma or emotion? Does it feel heavy? Do you feel depressed? Anxious? So I would say for both of them, go to a therapist, but make sure that they have ADHD or that they understand it very well. If it's the second one, I'd say go to a therapist and see if an ADHD coach would be good after you try that out for a little bit, because maybe it may not be a strategy issue. But I really genuinely hope that this was supportive enough for you. I know how it can be very daunting. So I just want to let you know that if you even just want to talk to me, I'm always here for you. You can comment in the comments below. You can go to my website, masterADHDnow.com, and just know that you're not alone. You're not broken. There's nothing to fix. And just know that if you do have ADHD, the sooner you embrace having ADHD, the sooner you can start seeing results. And it actually is a very beautiful thing to have, because I don't know how I possibly ever could have gotten the things I got in my life or how far I've gone without ADHD. It's supported me so much. You have no idea how absolutely powerful you really are, and the abilities that you have are incredible, and they can just about do anything for you if you just have the right system. Whether you end up working with me or coming to my workshops or downloading my stuff, I pray that you find the right person to support you, and be patient with yourself. Don't expect too much, and just know that I'm always here. And I would love if you would like and subscribe if you want to hear more ADHD tips. A lot of my videos are usually a lot more entertaining and quick and fast and fun. And I look forward to talking to you if you ever want to talk. Have a wonderful day. And feel free to watch this video, I don't know what side it's on, if you want to see the first tactic to get started and just see what it's like to start mastering your ADHD.